What's
Howdy.
Satori? The reopen.
Yeah, Satori 3.0 as Patsy has been calling it.
3.0.
Jitsmas as other people have been calling
Happy
it.
Jitsmas. He want rights now. He want rights. He knows who he is.
It's kind of like a opening, like a grand opening, I suppose it kind of is. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Well, we will do another. We'll do the Satori 3.0 reopening when we're allowed full numbers, and September, October, we'll have to be cookout or something. We cook out.
Sounds good.
What it is.
What it is.
Busy week, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Busy week coming up. A lot of people have been on to us just saying how much they're looking forward to getting back to normal, and so are we. Of course, obviously we closed in March temporarily because of the government advice. The government advice is you're allowed to reopen now with a certain amount of stipulations. So we have to do our part just to stay on top of that. It's forecasted to be for 3 weeks, and then they're going to increase the amount of people you're allowed, etc. So we're looking forward to that point once all goes according to plan.
So we should back to more or less total normal in 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, we'll still have to do some of the stuff, but we'll be allowed more people in, basically. But yeah, a few of the guidelines that was one of the guidelines, how many people are allowed in. So it's at 50 at the moment. Now, thankfully, well, or maybe not, a lot of time there isn't 50 people in the gym. You know, middle of the day, the off-peak times, there isn't 50. Sometimes there is.
Crossover and nighttime classes, sometimes.
Yeah, so
Monday, Thursday particular.
yeah, there's going to be, we're going to run the class, say 7 o'clock class for example. Show up, ready to go. We'll let people in like probably a couple of minutes before 7.
Yeah, 2 or 3 minutes
You can't
before.
really come in, like a lot of people come here straight from work to be in at 6:15, having their chats with their mates, maybe do a bit of stretching, train at 7. Just for the moment we can't do that, unfortunately. It is an important part of the gym, which we're happy that there is that social aspect to it, but just for the moment we just can't really do it. So if there's a class at 7, you can't really be admitted until a couple of minutes beforehand because they won't have the capacity. There'll already be 50 people in the building. So that's one thing. Another thing is duration. The duration of the time that people are indoors with other people was something that the government highlighted. They were saying, I think it was 90 minutes. We're going to do, a lot of our classes are 1 hour. The way to do it is we're going to run them about in around 50 minutes long.
Shave them down just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So
to be time for class over.
Yeah, class is over. Now, of course, a lot of people like to hang around and chat after class also. Unfortunately, well, you can bring the chats
nice
outside.
Area, good car park, nice area. There's plenty of amenities around here. So, like just for the couple of weeks, it might just be a little bit of small adjustments in and out. But I think the fact of the classes finishing a couple of minutes early, people not using the changing rooms, straight out, and the next class straight in is the kind of the kind of goal of it.
Yeah.
And if it is plus 50, if it is Monday night, if there is plus 50 people, we have a couple of ideas where we can run to the local park. There's a gym down there. We can send some coaches off with a bunch or whatever to make sure the numbers are all right. But it'll just be all of us working together for the first couple of weeks till everything's back to normal and just clogging along again. But as John was saying, the vast majority of classes won't be affected. Like any of the morning slots, the strength and conditioning morning slots won't be affected. The daytime slots won't be affected. Kids classes won't be affected. It'll just be 1 or 2 of the nighttime slots. So for the most of it should just be. And
if they are the one that you usually come down for, 7 o'clock BJJ Monday, Thursday, but you're advanced and you're also able to come down at 8 p.m. Maybe just come down at 8 p.m. instead for a couple of weeks. There won't be people doing back-to-back classes. Like if you trained at 7 o'clock. Some people obviously train at 7.
First and last out.
But we'll have to.
One class just for the moment.
No back-to-back classes for the minute. Pat touched on it there, the change rooms. Normally in the change rooms, people haven't got the 2 metre distance, they're not able to, so we're going to have to ideally not use the change room at all. A lot of children come in, they're kimonos anyway.
Very
like
little children here use the change rooms. Very
of course. But adults, if you're walking down, you could wear the shorts if you're doing no gi or gi bottoms and your t-shirt, rash guard, whatever it is, and throw the gi top on when you get here. But basically we're trying not to use, and the class is being short now. Like I was saying previous, sometimes people come in here after work at 6:30 and they'll be here till 9:30. So of course they'll be using the bathrooms, change rooms, everything. With the shorter classes,
less of that stuff gets used.
Much less. We don't want people using the change rooms, and ideally people wouldn't have to use the bathroom, because that's another place for transferring the COVID, but we'll be staying on top of cleaning anyway altogether. But we're trying to put in place as many things as possible to limit our exposure to that. The gym is going to be cleaned. As you know, it's already well cleaned. We'll be on top of
usually
that
the first
cleaning.
thing people say when they come.
Yeah,
We'll clean gym.
We'll be on top of that more, and also in between classes. So say one is on from 7 to 10 to 8. At that 10 to 8 mark, we will have a certain amount of stuff that we can do in that 10 or 10 so minutes before the next group comes in.
Disinfectant mist or
stuff. So. We'll have that in place also. So
we'll
be on top of that.
A rigid cleaning regime.
The stuff you can do on your end is stuff that you'd normally be doing. Show up clean. Goes without saying. Do not be coming down in a kimono that's got multiple wears and be left in a bag. This sort of stuff should just go without saying. But
shoes and socks. So you bring your sliders in, and then it's not just shoes at the door; it's shoes and socks. Because if you whip off your shoes and you've been in on a building site in your socks all day, it's not much better anyway. So barefoot by reception. There's wipes and plenty of stuff here. If you have to give the feet a quick wipe, general cleanse. Bring your own sliders and work around off them. But the kimono clean, nails clipped. Any symptoms goes without saying.
Oh yeah, well, that's another point. We'll have the back to training protocols in place, the questionnaires. It goes down through that with you. You'll need to fill that in before you come back.
That's sent out by the
IMAF. We have from the IMAF, thankfully, but we're going to send it to people via the email. You can bring it back with you, or we'll have some here, but even simple things, we can't have a pen there for people to fill it out, because then 100 people could touch the same pen. So if you're around and we're around the weekend, you could drop down and get one from us. You can get it or print it off yourselves, fill it in online and send it back to us, whatever works for you.
It's going to members' emails today.
But you can't be coming in training without filling it out. And one thing that does touch on is, have you been in contact with anyone showing symptoms, or have you got symptoms? And needless to say, if that is the case, you're going to have to not come down to the gym just for a couple of weeks until that's passed, or you get tested and it comes back how you want it to be. Also, to minimise if someone was unlucky enough to get it, thankfully we've been very, very low, with no mention of anyone having serious complications with the disease or anything like that. But when people are back, we're going to have the training group small. We're going to try to limit it to a maximum of 4 people, so you'd have you plus 3 others in a training group over the next 3 weeks.
And if you're from the same family, you'll be in the same training group to cut that down again. So for the next 3 weeks, it'll be myself and John will be training together, whatever, 4 groups of 4. You'll only be rolling with the same 2 or 3 people, or cross training with the same 2 or 3 people for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
That also goes for when you're travelling to the gym. Now I know a lot of people wouldn't necessarily do it, but it can't be a case that the people carrier drops off 6 different children from 6 different families and they've all travelled together in the same car. It's just
because that makes what we're doing not void. So
so the small groups. That being said, if you're in the adults groups, you know who you often train with, drop them a message, get in touch with them, whatever is your preferred method of contacting someone, and line it up in advance, so you're not here to start class Monday, because you partner up with someone Monday, and say you do Monday and Thursday 8 o'clock for example, you partner up with someone that day, maybe you have another partner, and the following week that partner isn't down for whatever reason, you didn't talk it through with them, and you've already gone through your 3 training partners, you won't have anyone to train with. Okay, so line it up specifically, get a commitment off someone. Okay, we're doing nothing major, like we're doing Monday and Thursday together for the next 3 weeks. It's not even an hour class, and that's it. So just be specific with who you're training with, who you're traveling to training with, your personal hygiene, equipment hygiene, like simple stuff like pads. Like if someone doing pad work, can't be sharing pads, so we won't be doing much pad work.
Your own equipment, and we very rarely have a lot of shared equipment on the floor anyway, but clean equipment, your own equipment.
And we'll be putting people kind of in a bit of space on the mats. We're very lucky with how much mat space we have. 50 people in here, it's still a fair few, but compared to a gym that's a tenth the size of this, we have so much more space to work with. So we're going to set people up in areas on the mats, your group of 2, your group of 4, what have you. Stay in that area, don't go into someone else's area. When you're talking, or not talking, but when you're interacting and stuff, try not to go within the 2 meter distance of other people within the gym. So we're just going to have to get used to having that bit more space between us than we're used to. When we're doing martial arts, we're always up close and personal. But just for the time being, we have to keep a little bit of space between us.
It's mad. It's going to look mad because we've had 300 people in this building plus at once.
Yeah.
So,
The controlled entry. So people coming in the door. Again, if you're early, you're going to be waiting. Another thing on waiting is parents of children. If you drop your children off for training, we have the parents waiting room here, but we can't be using that because if we have, but sometimes we do have 15 to 20 parents in there, it'll just bring us up over the 50 people mark. So at the moment, we can't have that either.
But it got to the stage a lot of people were drop and collect.
Yeah, it should be fine.
And we're lucky with the new car park because you'll see it in when you get here. But with the new car park and the new markings, there's a children's walkway all the way up the side of the building. It's 1 meter wide and it's highlighted yellow. So we can even just relax in that walkway because it's a highlighted safe zone, and that goes the whole way down. So there's no panic with space on waiting to come into class. It's safe.
When you come in the door, there'll be a sanitation area, foam, soap, dispenser, hit it with your elbow if you want, whatever. Get the soap on your hands. Into the gym, we have lots of hand sanitizers up there, alcohol hand sanitizers. It shouldn't be happening that you're coming into the building with a cough, but if you have a sneeze or something like that, we have areas set up there with blue rolls near the mats, over blue roll, bin beside it, throw it in the bin, hand sanitizer beside it, sanitize your hands, etc. So just good personal hygiene, going over and above what you'd normally do, will help.
Yeah, just coming together. It's just for I know so many people being happy with us being open, and just a little bit more teamwork and camaraderie over the next 3 weeks, and we'll be flying then, absolutely flying back to normal.
That's pretty much it.
Just touch on it with the morning, just on the morning, just with the summer kids classes starting from
that's important.
Monday morning.
We're lucky with the space we have, but there might be a lot of new people looking to join this time. We've seen it with a lot of other sports that were back before us. There was a huge rush of people who wanted to do them. A backlog, like people, whatever X amount of people want to sign up in a month. They haven't been able to for the last 3 months. So there's going to be a lot of people coming down. We're going to try to keep the classes, and it's something that people are probably current members are conscious of. We're going to try to keep the classes that we have already on the schedule limited to the people that are already in the gym. And then if someone gets in touch, it's like, I want to do jiu-jitsu, we're going to put on a 9 p.m. jiu-jitsu class for the time being, next 3-4 weeks, whatever it is. Then if that all goes well, then we can introduce them to the general population of the gym. Also, for the children, we've got 11 a.m. was it in the morning?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. in the mornings. So that's going to be big. It's $5 drop-in.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for July and August. Kids, fitness, games, core development, coordination. We have a lot of games planned, but it'll be same thing. It'll be kids arrive. If there's plus 50, we'll just put on another class at 11. I wouldn't be surprised if there was 50 down Monday morning, that'd only be a small number of our membership who'll be down. If we have to put on an extra class for the general public, no problem at all, but they'll be 10 a.m. starting. First 50 in, you come in, you have to sign in your, come early, you have to sign in your waiver, or your,
pretty much
your
waiver,
IMAF waiver, and you'll get your training group and you'll be in, and we'll split that up, but we've a lot more room in the kids fitness classes because there's not so much contact, there's not so much area like that. We can, so really looking forward to that. They'll be for July and August, the kids fitness classes, 10 a.m. starting this Monday, and we'll see what way we work back off that.
They should go down really well because, as a lot of people have been saying, they haven't got a chance to even, some people leave their house, in quite a long time. There's a lot of built up energy, they haven't got to do so many sports, and then the sports that they would have liked to have done, a lot of them, like you might hear about the certain sports, they have so many people usually in there, like maybe gymnastics, or I won't even go into
our gymnastics. We're getting more queries because we have a good gymnastics class going at one group on a Sunday, and for anyone that's asking, they were on a waiting list for the second group. We're just going to see what the numbers are like this week, and that second group might be starting next Sunday. If not, it'll be the next couple of Sundays, and at the very latest, it'll be August. The second class will be starting. So that's just for the people that are on that waiting list.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people won't have the choice. You see certain gyms going back now, and obviously the limitations, they can't fit any more people in.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you have children, you know someone with children, and they're looking for something to do, this is something that they can actually do, whereas they're very probably limited in what they can do.
Yeah, and same thing for that, just fitness clothes are fine, shorts or tracksuit, shoes and socks off as soon as you come up the stairs, sliders are barefoot to the mat, and we get a good 45-50 minute fitness class in for the kids.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Looking forward to it. Like we were saying before, we try to keep open communication, and we're always ready to adjust to what's happening. So as the situation develops, as things change, we'll adapt. We'll adapt, and yeah, we'll
overcome.
Yeah, we'll adapt and overcome pretty much, because it's been a bizarre scenario the last while. Hopefully we're getting out the far side of it, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
See you on Monday, guys.
Us.
Usa.